Well, hey, we're out here by the open flame smoker, getting ready to make some chicken thighs. The best value going, man. If you get the bone in, skin on chicken thighs, it's about the cheapest meat you can get at the grocery store. It tastes great. It's great on open flame or any kind of barbecue. It's great if you use them for jerk, whatever you want to use them for. They're great. They're very affordable compared to most chicken these days. The only thing with them that I don't like is if you cook them wrong, you get that kind of rubbery skin. We're going to take you through the steps on the live fire today to show you how to get skin that's not rubbery. It's got a little crunch to it, and it's pretty delicious. It's pretty good stuff, man. Thanks for joining us. Welcome aboard.
Well, the first thing we have to do, if you want to have a decent crunch to it, is to dry it off. Moisture destroys anything crunchy. You got a land manatee, yardbird, whatever you're cooking, man, you want to make sure it's dry. So we paper towel it to start. We'll do a couple things after. Paper towel at both sides, get it as dry as you can get it. Use lots of paper towel. Don't use a wet paper towel to try to dry something. It's all done, stick it on a rack. That way you get airflow above it and below it. We use a little aluminum-free baking powder. This just changes the pH in the skin and helps it dry out a little bit. So we'll dip that on a little bit and then rub it in. And make sure you get both sides. And that dries everything out real nice. The inside still retains the moisture. Now we're going to get some kosher salt, same thing. Salt will dry it out too. So we'll put a little dab of salt on everything. Just a pinch. And it's sitting on that rack. Stick that in a pan to catch the drippings. Stick the whole thing in the fridge. Minimum about 2 hours. You can go all day though. You do this in the morning before you go to work, come home, and it's good and dry. Got it outside, now getting ready to throw it on the grill, put a little pepper on it, and then just for a splash of color, threw a little bit of paprika on it. It doesn't really add a lot of flavor, but it looks good. And looking good is important. Now we're going to start the fire. So I throw a log down. This is just for the Santa Maria style. Put a couple of those twisted starter things, charcoal on top of it, bump charcoal, it doesn't fall through quite as bad. And fire it up. Takes a little while. We'll go through a couple of splits of hickory, quite a bit of charcoal to get a nice bed of coals. I don't like cooking over fire because it flares up too much. These coals give you a nice steady heat, and that aluminum box conducts it pretty well. I'm sorry, stainless steel box conducts it pretty well. So it's pretty much a blast furnace right now. I feel like I could probably melt some iron and make some steel right now with this thing. But you'll see here in just a minute, we'll pull a couple of those coals out to one side of the grill. On the other side of the grill, we won't. We're going to put it on indirect heat, so there's still enough conduction going on in there that it'll get hot no matter what, but it's going to be hotter towards the fire. We'll drop that grate down to get it right over the coals. You want to heat the grate up on any grill you got before you throw meat on it. A hot grate, the meat won't stick. Cold grate will, then you got a whole bunch of scrape to do. Now I want to go with indirect heat and not too hot, kind of a low, slow cook to start. So I want to be able to hold my hand there for about 10-15 seconds before I put the meat on. And that's what I got. So we're at about the right height for what I'm going for right now. Later on, we're going to drop it down lower and over the coals directly, but right now, it's a low, slow cook to try to melt some of that fat that's in there and put a little bit of air between the skin and the meat, and that's what gets you that nice, crispy, crunchy skin texture. So it cooked there for about a half an hour or so. A couple times I stuck a thermal pen in it just to see the temperature. I want to get it up above 150. So the chicken is 165 is considered minimum safe. With thighs, I like going a lot hotter than that. I like to get them up around 180. So you pull them off about 175. The carryover will take them up the last 5 degrees or so. So this is of course edited. I didn't want to show the whole sit, but we got about where we want. We pulled some coals directly underneath it, and it's pretty hot in that corner right now. And that's what we're going for. Kind of just like doing a reverse sear on a steak, but it's yardbird, not land manatee. So we get that nice bed of coals. We'll break some more out and get it good and hot. Now the problem you have to worry about here is flare-ups. As that fat drips out of that chicken, it's going to flare up and burn. So we'll let that happen just a little bit, and then we'll raise the grate. We really want to just torch the chicken at this point. There's a lot of time into it. It's good stuff, man. So we can see that fat dripping down and causing flames, but we got the grate raised just enough to keep it out of the flames. And once we're done, you can see that beautiful crispy skin on the outside. We're going to flip it over and get the back side of it done over the high heat as well. we'll stick a thermal pin in, and like I said, pull it out 175, 180, somewhere in there. It's good all the way up to about 195 before it starts losing the juice in the middle. And it's just a better piece of chicken if you pull it off right at the 165 mark. So we're still a little bit low here. It's going to cook for a few more minutes. And of course, you can't touch the bone with that thermal pin either. So now it's done. Comes off, goes on a plate. And if you listen real close here, you can hear the crust. You can hear that scratchy sound. Well, I'm in Providence, Rhode Island now, so I left my house down in the swamp, and I went to work yesterday about, I don't know, 3:30, 4 in the morning. I left the house. Got to this hotel about 1 a.m., so it was a long day. Multiple stops. I was doing some editing every time I had a little break, half an hour here, half an hour there. And somehow I managed to lose the taste test portion of the eating, and since I'm nowhere near a place where I can make it again right now, we're stuck with this. So it was really good chicken. I really liked the way the skin turned out. I'd never done that baking powder on thighs before. I've done it on chicken wings because it works the same way. And I just want to point out, you don't have to use a particular kind of grill. I use the Santa Maria style, but you could do this on a gas grill or whatever. Just use indirect heat for the first, half an hour or so. You want to get it up to, well above 150 degrees before you flip it over and try to kind of sear it at the end. It turned out absolutely delicious. I loved it. I'm going to do it again and again and again. I like chicken thighs, and I like cooking it that way. It's going to be a little bit different if you marinate it, because then, of course, you get it wet. You're going to get a little bit rubberier of the skin, but it's still pretty good stuff, man. And you can still start it that way and just put the marinade on later. Same thing with the barbecue sauce. There's going to be a link, I guess, up here to my homemade barbecue sauce. Stuff's the best stuff you'll ever get. It's full of sugar, though. If you put it on too early, you're going to burn it, and you'll taste the burn. You don't want to do that. Anyway, on that note, I'm out of here. Try to do something again next week. I'm on 3 days off. Y'all take care. Thanks for joining us. Sure appreciate it. Like and subscribe. Have a great day. God bless you.